Hey friends, so let's talk about emergency funds today into our financial planning thing. So, what are emergency funds and why do we need it? A lot of why do we need it has been answered by the COVID pandemic, isn't it? Now, what is emergency fund? So, emergency fund is also called as contingency fund or a financial safety net for future mishaps or any unexpected expenses which might occur. Emergency fund should typically have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses ready with you. Although the pandemic has made it a bit of has created a question mark to it, and many of the experts are now telling that it should be at least for a year's expenses. So it may vary on certain things, like if you have a nuclear family wherein only single guy who is working, then you should keep more of the emergency expenses. If you have two adults working, then you might have less of the emergency expenses. If you have the kids which who are dependent, then it varies. If you have parents also dependent, then you can keep for more of the emergency expenses. So emergency expenses normally should vary between 3 to 6 months of expenses to almost a year of expenses. But there is one thing which we all should keep in mind. We should not worry for returns with the emergency funds. Emergency funds, we should always worry that there should be a liquidity. As and when the fund is required, it is available to me on an immediate basis. That is what the emergency funds, help us. That is how it should help us, in fact. So you can opt for keeping your emergency funds either into saving bank account or short term FDs or liquid funds of mutual funds, or in some cases ultra short term funds also. You would have heard the term SLR. I would use the term over here SLR, but in a different sense. When you are talking about the emergency funds, then you should keep SLR in mind, where S stands for safety first, liquidity second, and returns third. But you should always have emergency fund ready with you. You should not have this I have chalta hai attitude. This will not work. Thank you guys.